Turn to page 7 of the Kurukulla prayer book, please. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha in the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha. Until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, forms supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage. To all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protector's heart, to tip of this fresh, pure, white heap, curd like cloud, O Lobsangtrapa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come to this place with your disciples. In space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit. Feel for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory, outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense like perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned mundane concerns, made life essence-full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable Gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Lobsangtrapa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Mig med se wei te chen chen reisig, we make him pay wang po jam pel young, du pung ma lu jom se san wei dak, gang chen ke pe su gen song kapa, Lobsangtrape shabla so wadeb. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remains steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomenon called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this, subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence, five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form, emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty, without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, mental phenomenon. There is no I element and so forth, up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth, to no aging and death, and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times, by relying upon the perfection of wisdom, become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata gate gate paragate parasongate bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gadavas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the host of the three places Dakinis. Tayata om gate gate paragate parasongate bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four Maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, shante, godoye, soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, free from adverse, harmful conditions. May all be conducive in perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Saji Perki Dushi Meto Dramri Rablingji Nidegem Hadi Sam Tayami. Chongde Songi Chomna La Jakdu Padu Dakdu Kapsuchi Daki Chonyen Gepe Sonamki Drola Penche Sange Drupa Sho. Chongde Songi Chomna La Jakdu Padu Dakdu Kapsuchi Daki Chonyen Gepe Sonamki Drola Penche Sange Drupa Sho. Dala Jagdu Pardu Dagdu Gapsuchi Dagi Chonyen Gepe Sonamki Drola Penche Sange Drupa Sho.
Good evening. How are you? How's your day? Good day? So? Good day, so, busy day. Weather's good, right? Come summer. Good. Anyway, it's wonderful. You come together and study. In order to practice, we have to, know how to practice. Right? Therefore, to study is more important. When we study, and also you don't practice, then also you don't see much result. What will we study? If you know how much you can, what you know, if you learn, try to every day just put into your practice, little bit, not too much. If too much, you become enlightened too soon. Then, it won't be jealous. What guy is on? I'm still here. Therefore, just put into little bit, small. This is more important. The purpose study is to practice. Purpose practice is to subdue our delusions mind, right? Our monkey mind. And then also you guys are all the time the sufferings. Maybe today we don't talk sufferings. Suffering. Suffering. Dungal. We heard 1,000 times, right? Always talk suffering. Why we have to have enough? Because the purpose to talk about that is, just remind. Anything we don't remind, we forgot, right? Are you guys forgot? You have to always put the alarm or write the note. It's like a reminder. They were always talking about suffering. Why? If you really understand, know or how samsara nature, then okay, I don't want to stay here. I want to get out. Right? Then first study, then practice, then we will achieve enlightenment. Therefore, sometimes the people study, I say, what can I do to make practice? Then Lama Zopa Rinpoche say, you study, then looking for something practice other place. You're complete whatever you study, that's you practice. Right? Sometimes people have this happen, right? Say, I like to something practice, I don't know what to do. I usually all the time say, you don't have, not necessary to, read the daily practice, a very thick book. And stay a couple hours to meditation. Of course you do that, it's good, but not necessary. Just read our, the standard prayer book. Like that's all practice included. Like short verses, couple pages, but everything is included. Right? Like, also the practice also like very common. Sometimes say, okay, Tantras, Mahamudra, it what like very famous names. But in order to do that also we need so many commandments. If you are able to do that, it's good, but not necessary. In order to do that, we need to very basic understand to preliminary practice. Preliminary practice. You have to fix my English, okay? When I finish my English, then I stop. My English has a limit. You already know. Don't worry, okay? Therefore, in here, always we checking, refuge. There's just only 4 verses. Is that 4 verses? Or 4 lines?
4 lines.
We English there are 4 lines. Pekela, sholoka shiro. Ma sholoka chik. Sholoka chila. Karo, tsikshi. Tsikshi. Tsikanshi. Anyway, the first, 2 lines talk about refuge. I always get the example, when you have some problem, you cannot solve your problem, you're always looking for your lawyer. Right? Anyone says, I need a lawyer. So why? I couldn't fix my problem. And we have very strong belief or faith or the lawyers, because we say, okay, he or she can do 100% of what my problems. Therefore, we have a lot of problems, samsara. Therefore, we have not ability to free the suffering or get out of the suffering. Then how to practice, how to study, how to calm down. We ask to Buddha, take the refuge. Look, you are the Buddha, you are the Dharma, you are the Sangha. Please give us to, take a path or advice. Then Buddha give advice what he give Dharma. Dharma has usually 2. Lunga tempa dan, tope tempa. Luna topa, luna nai.
Scriptural and then realization, right?
Yeah, realization. In order to realization, we need to also depend the scriptures. Okay, books, I said just books, okay. It's just easy to, my English is not fancy, okay. There's no gold cover, just no gold, usually we need to fancy things. Put the gold cover, silver covers. Inside nothing there, just red. Like that, the poetries. Even they talk about something that they put very nice words. Is the English one like that? Like Tibetan poetries, even they talk about the like sun. They put so many beautiful
adjectives, ornamental language.
English you love that? Just a minute just talk about the cup, even you talk about the cup. If someone's very good poetry, they can make beautiful, like, but nice. But my English is just regular, okay? Books, okay? Books and knowledge, okay? In order to knowledge, we need to books, right? This This is very direct English, right? Easy to understand, or maybe worse. Like that, therefore, the only two. Then most important also the realization. The realization, as you know, is okay, bodhicitta very far away, path or very far away, renunciation very far away. I don't know. I'm not able to. I always say, just keep the 10 non-virtuous action. It's good. No, right? You action that.
Abandon the 10
You guys know, right? What I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep the morality of abandoning the 10 non-virtuous actions.
Right? Abandon the 10 non-virtuous. That's more important. They have, really basic practice. They also all include that. Right? Everything's there. And of course, like this is the Dharma. Usually real Dharma is the Chu, real Dharma is the understand the emptiness directly, the mind with the Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva's quality, no. Sanji, of course Buddha. Bodhisattva and Buddhas, the qualities of their mind,
the wisdom that mind's quality.
Mind quality, all the qualities like, Dharma, Chu. Okay? Especially the Tonyung Lamden. Tonyung Stobelo.
Especially the wisdom that realizes emptiness directly. And that's the ultimate Tondabe.
Yeah, Tondabe.
That's the ultimate bodhicitta.
Right? The ultimate bodhicitta is that the mind and the bodhisattvas or Buddhas have understand emptiness directly. How's my English? Just pity. You have to learn different kind of English, okay? Then I put the verbs, then it's just up, down. Okay? Like that. Then we say, oh, it's too far away. So, okay. Then just we say 3 lavasum.
The 3 higher trainings.
Right? Morality. Right? Then concentration, the wisdom. Right? That's more important. Usually there is also Buddhism, non-Buddhism, also common practice. But Buddhism is the conjoined refuge. That is Buddhism practice, right? Therefore, you already have refuge. Anyway, therefore, what Buddha gave? Buddha said, I teach you guys, I show you guys path, now you are the hand. Therefore, Buddha already give, okay, this is virtuous actions, this is non-virtuous action. You have to do that, you don't do that. He already just give advice. Now, what he advise? Practice Dharma. What's Dharma? Right? I bind 10 non-virtuous actions. Practice 3 high trainings. Then bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, then, ethics. Morality or ethics, like that. This is you keep more practice that. Try to, this is more familiarized like that. Not always, shoot each other, no shoot. How is that?
Talk about it?
Yeah. Gossip. No gossips, no jealous, no hater, no complaint. We have too much used that, right? All the time, more. Whenever, what kind of action is more used, that action always that, right? What kind of actions not we are much familiar with, they are always like skip that behind that, Therefore, what I'm to talk about? Therefore, I'm just talking about also really low level to practice, or how you practice, just daily practice, okay? Now what Buddha's the who show the path, who give the refuge, who the person to the path. What he show? Abandon non-vegetations, practice to bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion. Okay? The bodhicitta is the best practice. Best. In order to bodhicitta, we need to compassion, loving kindness, the all. If you are that, then you have no enemy. If you have no enemy, no one bother you. Then you don't get mad. Right? We get mad. Who someone bother, right? Like that. Then in order to practice that, we need to also someone to help. Is Sangha. Usually Sangha, the person in the Buddha Sattva, Buddha, this is the Sangha, real Sangha. Then also Buddhism says, full for ordained monks or nuns. Also we can represent the Dharma, Sangha. Right? They say, where can I go to find the 4 ordained monks? Not here. Boston only Lama Sonam me, or Lama Muma, we are on all 4. But we say, look you guys, just Dharma brothers, sisters, this is the Sangha. The Sangha, the Chudipe Dadok, I said. Chudipe Dadok.
So friends, companions who help you to achieve Dharma, achieve realizations and practice of the Dharma.
Therefore, our community, like your friends, Dharma friends, this is the Sangha. Because we have that, then we able to study or practice, right? Therefore, I'm not saying you guys fighting, okay? Just generally, very bad to fight Sangha members, usually, Usually the people, when we get met, we fight for our close person, right? Your husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, roommate, classmate, right? You guys fight for someone from New York? Not too far, right? Co-workers. But those people are very important for us. You know that Tibetan, I'm just talking about Karo. Very Karo Rapasana.
Very general or
very
gross.
General, rough, His Holiness always say, the Buddhism action is non-violent. Why we have to do non-violent depends on Karo, Tawa Tenju. Tawa Tenju.
Because of the view of dependent origination.
Correct?
Tawa Tenju,
Yeah.
Tawa is view.
View.
And the dependent origination,
Yes.
Tenju.
Okay? But this is a true Tawa, so view is too high. Okay, just close that. The Tenju, then there are so many. Gross level, subtle level, so many. We just talk about the gross level. Then it depends on one. Because we depend for all our classmates, husband, wife, or co-workers, brothers, sisters, family members, right? We have to depend on them. Some say I'm not dependent. I'm stand my own feet. I do my own bills. People think right? I'm not dependent with them. Yes, who give you job? Yes, I'm working for them. Now, looks you're working for them. That we're working for ourselves, right? They will like that go to, everyone's, if you have some friends, when you are happy, you can talk with them. I'm happy today. You have some problem? I have some problem today. Because we need to control Reva.
You depend on, or you look to them, you place hope in them, I guess. Reva Gyat would be to have wish, or you place hope in them.
Anyway, we have always some problem. We have some place to go, right? We say, okay, I want to
So if you encounter a problem, then you need a place to confide in about that problem, to talk about that problem.
Like that, those kind of person is who the close with us. Therefore, we need always with them. Your, co-workers, family members, the neighbors, Therefore, we couldn't fight with them. Fight is not just bring the big gun, holding the knife, follow them, not like that, just okay? Like that. Therefore, Kurukulla Reva Jab go in the Sosu Reva Japsa Ten Tupa Jamna Yapoema.
Since we placed our hopes in them, that's the specific word that Geshe was using in Tibetan, since we depend on them, generally speaking, it wouldn't be correct to fight with that object that we're depending on or that we are placing our hope on. Yeah.
Good. Then Shubha Tsaba me pass. Tsaba also violence. Tsaba violence.
Violence?
Violence means we are not violence. Right? Violence means how you identify violence. Yeah. Of course we harm for all the time, intentionally. How we speak, how we actions, but also unintentionally.
Unintentionally.
You have to fix it. Okay, good, thank you. Okay, unintentionally, right? We always harm others, but intentionally not harm others. This is the harm is what? We have to hit someone, not like that. Even you just one word, right? Someone hurt their mind, body, speech, and mind. This is harm, intentionally, okay, not unintentionally. Like this is a violence. The violence of so many big, small things, not necessarily something holding the big gun like that. Okay? Tell us Shubha Tsapa Meba, what is it? Shubha Tsapa Meba.
Shubha.
Chupa Tsapa Meba.
So our conduct should be non-violent.
Okay? Therefore, this is His Holiness always say. Therefore, in order to do that also, very important to ethics. Also the ethics of without touching the religions, he always say, right? The ethics is the person's knowledge, person's quality, right? It's not necessary religion. Okay? Like that. I think my English finished now. Okay. I think like that, okay? This is, don't think also Geshe he always talk about same things over. No. If you think about that, then you will fall asleep. You're thinking over time, then remind, also do some practice, then like fresh air, like something. Then you say, okay, yeah, all the time like that, Buddhism talk like that. The very dangerous one word, the Tibetan tradition, chupa chugumatu. Chupa. Yeah, chugo, pedo mara. Chucheng sole. Nga chupa yinlami. Ka chuma mu chedeng do nyamne wo machina. Chu pedo mara.
So chupa, I guess.
Chupa means practitioner, right?
Yeah, so someone who practices Dharma practitioner.
And the Dharma pedo mara.
To a Dharma practitioner, the Dharma will not be of benefit. So in this context, the Dharma practitioner that he's referring to is someone who claims to be, someone who's very intellectually familiar with the Dharma, so to speak, but is not necessarily imbuing one's mind with the practice. So someone who's just kind of superficially familiar, that kind of a Dharma practitioner. To that kind of a person, the Dharma will not be of benefit.
Oh. For
example, the paper that is used to wrap the butter cannot be softened by the butter. So for example, for a piece of paper like this, usually if you put butter on it, then it will drink up the butter and change color, right, of that oil consistency.
This is a modern example, okay, modern example. Now, Pevegala, Pevegi Marti, Semjing Papanala. So, Papa, take comes on a Munijana Marti Papa to channel Lumba said. So then, the Koran looks like Martin, Papa de Kosoto Maris.
So this is a modern example. The paper is a modern example because traditionally in Tibet, the example that is used is usually traditionally they use, for example, leather or animal hide to hold the butter. And so the butter the animal hide that is used to hold the butter becomes inured to the butter, it becomes very tough, and the butter cannot, and usually where butter is used to soften the hide, right? But for the hide that is used to contain the butter, you cannot soften it.
Okay, like that. Therefore, if we don't practice, we just heard all the time, just listen. Then like that. Then, there's a Buddhist that's very important. Yeah. There's all softening very terrible, or there's some sort of always they talk about that like that. Doesn't work. Like, usually if possible, there's someone to describe the bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, like we need to something like Lili Papu Jo. Lili Papu. Grus Po.
So someone who really generates and takes to heart the bodhicitta and loving kindness and so forth, they will show signs of having the pores raised, hair rising, I guess. Yeah, goosebumps. There we go. Goosebumps. Yeah.
Right. Then someone talk about that. Takaro. Kobi nim labnaya.
And also those who are sincere practitioners, when they think about or hear about the disadvantages and sufferings of samsara cycle existence, they will also experience similar kind of effects of having goosebumps and so forth.
Now you really practice it. This is really come science. This really come. Do you see sometimes His Holiness Roy when he teaches them? It's all right when he talk about some 30s, Geshe Lawrence of Dhamma. Geshe Lawrence of Dhamma.
Sodhimba.
Yeah,
The 37.
Yeah, 37.
37 Buddhist practices the Bodhisattva.
Yeah. No. Just.
37 branches of enlightenment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also he teach for the Shantideva text. He always emotion. Because like that, people, sometimes people say, why this cry? But he really
It's because he's really experiencing.
Experience like that. Yeah. For us, do you have any feeling? Sometimes, right? Sometimes we see maybe some animal there, It's of course very good. Yeah. You're very good, you're taking care of animals. Some maybe cow, cat, something. Like that, like Ninju Pusama. Yeah, Ninju Tempo Meva.
So engaging is renunciation, and Tempo Meva is unsteady. Unsteady renunciation.
Like that, okay?
Unstable.
Then try to more, if you do more practice, try to some meditation. Sometimes people, how you meditation? What we talk, is you have to meditation. You have to think about that more. Think about that more. Okay? Then, it says, some people come here always, do you guys practice teaching meditation? It's very hard to say, answer that, you say. You say, yes, then Westerns also, the meditation means, like just silent, just say. Right? Then usually the meditation has analytical meditation and concentration. Therefore, in order to meditation,
Single point of concentration.
Single point concentration. In order to that, we need to also analytical meditation. Right? Therefore, analytical meditation, when we discussion, it's also analytical meditation. Also, when you just yourself, say you just think about bodhicitta, quality, benefit, think about that.
So if you are thinking about the methods to generate those principles like bodhicitta and so forth in your mind,
yeah, like that.
That's also analytical meditation.
Yeah. Okay. Then
so whatever the mind becomes familiar with, you will become better at that.
Right. First you got to come to here. Even you have to recite the text is hard, right? how you said pronunciation, but now you guys, a lot of people also already memorize. You know, Shanti Deva say, if, okay, come the lower mind, neither can your minds.
There's nothing that the mind cannot, that doesn't become easier with familiarization.
Okay? That's it. Now my English is finished.
I think there's more coming, right?
No. Okay, now we talked about last week, but you know, Anish is very fresh, Sava.
New,
New.
fresh, I guess.
Really, you say? Fresh to the, you know, Tibet or discussion. She's come from the Tibet area. Like, you know. Therefore, first, I would like to a little bit describe tonight 7 different minds, right?
The divisions on the 7 divisions of awareness.
Okay, we already go over last week, right? You, right? Two. Yeah, I just remind you guys, right? And that's what you guys mentioned. If you possible to memorize the definitions, then you don't mix each other's. Otherwise, like all different kind of very similar. It's very hard to.
It's confused. Yeah.
Just very confused. Okay. Firstly, who would like to volunteer to again say 7? Maybe Ian, you just stay. Okay. Okay, yeah.
Direct perceiver, inferential cognition.
She's the judge, okay? You're careful, okay?
Okay, wait, a disclaimer here. I don't know what Geshe has told you before. But actually, I will have to apologize in advance because, as Geshe mentioned, I studied this text actually in Tibetan, right? And so for me to then, I have to familiarize myself actually with the English terminology and the text itself right now. As we're doing it, so I'll be jumping around a lot. And then secondly, the text that I studied is a slightly different tradition. It's the opponent to the Sera Je, actually. And so sometimes they offer a slightly different interpretation on the similar, subject and so forth. And so that's a little disclaimer before we go on.
You know the Sera, there are 6 different monasteries, right? And then special Sera Je and the low ceiling. And the Sera Je follow the combines, the Gyume when we know here, right? We don't look about that one.
No,
maybe not,
that's
yeah. Sometimes, 70 topics,
Right, the ornamental
Yeah,
realization, the
ornamentalization
commentary to that is also Geshe Ngawang 70 topics,
Yeah,
and that's also Geshe Ngawang. There are other texts like that.
like that. Also, we follow the like Dura.
And so then also the collected topics text, they follow a different.
Yongzu.
It's Yongsun Pubuchok, right? So this one is by Pubuchok, right? So this is the Pubuchok text, often referred to as Yongzin.
Then the another one's the low ceiling. The low ceiling, they look study all the combines what of the abbot, the pension
Sonam
Trapa. And then he's one of the abbot for low ceiling. Therefore, usually we have she also follow that tradition.
I have no choice. I have to follow the line. I have to.
Because their monastery, the nunneries, all the teachers come from
Low ceiling. Yeah.
Now he already have, usually Sera Je and low ceiling is like,
They're like competitors. They're like the what do you call it? They're like Harvard and Yale kind of. What do you call that? Rivals. There you go. They're rivals.
Yeah, they not fight that, but they say, low ceiling say, I am the one. Sera Je said, I am the one. When we have the debate, remember yesterday a little bit I described you the Tsering Punso, the cat's monk. Now he's the one of the Sera Je's tamja.
You know how in debate there's a challenger that asks a question standing up, and then the defender who answers and defends one's position. And so he was the defender.
Yeah, and then Repung. And I'm not sure it's low ceiling or not. And like that kind of debate is a very big debate.
A lot of pressure.
The 3 monasteries, all the tops come there. All the tops go there. The 1 month they debate for the Sema call it.
Valley cognition.
Yeah, only cognition.
Dharmakirti.
They combine the
Dharmakirti.
Dharmakirti and Jasabji.
And Gyaltsab, he's one of the principal disciples of Lama Zopa. There's Kerupche and Gyaltsab, right? On these two sides in the center is Lama Zopa. And the younger one, I believe.
And they both are similar.
Well, I think this one has kind of wrinkles on the floor, so I think this was supposed to be Kerupche and that's supposed to be Gyaltsab.
Yeah, therefore,
And so then using the root text of Gyaltsab's commentary on Dharmakirti's valid cognition, and so valid cognition itself and the commentary to that composed by Gyaltsab, so using that as a basic reference, the root texts on which everyone has to accept, right? Then they have different interpretations of that text and they debate each other and challenge each other's interpretations, assertions.
Therefore, during the debate time, each one try to contradict your text. Try to
So they try to debate, try to contradict the other's commentary to these root texts. So for example, Sera Je will have commentaries composed by Geshe Tsulga, who has composed a commentary to the text by Gyaltsab and Dharmakirti, right? And then Lozeling will have Benchim Sonodapa, who has composed his own commentary to those root texts. And so then each monastery, the debaters from each monastery will try to further advance their own views, their own commentaries, texts, and then contradict and refute the other's text perspective.
There was special day, Lozeling Seraji debate, everyone's Sami Tonachers.
So everybody is very interested, takes great interest whenever there is a debate between Lozeling and Sera Je.
Today, like tonight that debate, then they are who that's tradition.
And whoever, if there's like a debate between Lozeling and Sera Je, whoever is the challengers and whoever is the defender, they will really prepare very well for that debate.
During that night, maybe 4 hours or 3 hours they have to debate. Then just, of course, like, usually they have to do, I don't know how many monks, like 2,000-3,000.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure, like that. Also, who not need to necessarily go there, but that day they all want just go to see, everyone looking. Oh yeah, this happened, it's like fun,
It's like spectator sport.
Yeah, it's a really very big debate. Therefore, now she's the pro like that.
I'm definitely I start off with Geshe Tsulga and Sera Je here, right? And then I have to go to the other side.
Oh my goodness.
We already debate a little bit out there, do you remember the Lord Kachu?
So you know how I don't know how do they transfer, they just say someone else might say in these debates that are translated here in these boxes. Someone else might, our tradition is this, but someone else might say this. You know how they have these? So
we try a little bit, then everybody makes the very headache, Why we have to use this word? Like, we did like that a little bit. Do you guys still like this? Oh no, we just skip that. It's very comical. Like that, anyway, I'm just joking, but therefore, why I have to talk about that? Anyway, try to, okay, who the voluntary? Then we have some doubt. Yeah, then we have some doubt. We, try to
So first we'll kind of go over and if there are any doubts, then we can then individually address each.
But we studied many months, right? I think you guys already read the books every day. But your book's not here, then your mind's already there. No, it's okay. You don't need to read the book. Usually, okay, now I'm not talking too much. I don't want to go there.
See, it didn't end, huh? He didn't run out.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the seven are the direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, subsequent cognizer, correctly assuming consciousness, an awareness in which an object appears but is not ascertained, a doubting consciousness, and a wrong consciousness.
How's it? Everyone follow? Wow, good job. Everyone follow? Bob, it's good?
Yeah, I was
Good. Everyone knows, right? This is, even someone to hitting you big rock, you have to remember. Okay? Then, if maybe in the future we are able to go to Anisha nunnery, you can do it nuns. Then they will be surprised. Oh, these guys will study like that, Okay? Then, can you? This is 7.
So within those 7, how many realize their objects and how many do not realize their objects?
Okay, 2 realize. How about you, 2?
I say 2.
2. You have to be careful, okay? Don't look at the sides, okay? Okay. Jennifer, 3. 2.
Like correct realization. Cognize their object correctly. Cognize is 똑바.
Okay.
똑로가 to you.
똑로가, yeah.
Yeah, I see 2.
I'm not saying
I'm
directly,
not saying
okay?
valid. He's not saying valid or
Valid,
he's saying
okay.
how many of those consciousnesses among the 7, how many realize correctly their object and how many don't realize their object?
Okay, you already say you're not allowed to say again, okay?
Mine is different too.
Okay. 2. She 3.
3
3.
threes.
2. Bob?
4 threes.
Say 3. How about you? 3.
Oh, 5 for you.
Okay? 2. Okay. Okay, now give me the one person to 2. No, maybe not. Maybe. Okay, say 3-1. Good to 3-1.
No, just start with 2, then they know which one.
No, if you 3-1, then which one we know, which one is missing.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not easy. Because a lot of people already know 2. But someone called it 3, then, okay, yeah, 3, who, maybe Bob.
Direct valid cognizer, inferential valid cognizer, and subsequent cognizer realize the object.
그래서.
그래서 내 문순 설마 제바스마다 안에 제시. 문순 설마는
그래, 무슨 참아, 제발 참아, 제시. 무슨 말은 오도. 되겠다.
아니 문순이나 또는 좀 막혀다.
근데 난 뜻도 말다. 그래는.
That's what I remember from
문순이나 또는 좀 막혀다. 근데 문순 깨진 이거 주제 또는 많이 받아. 문순 세마 많이 주셔.
시시도 already.
So
Okay.
I just want to clarify, Bob. You said direct valid cognizer, right? Direct valid perceiver. Okay. Is there a difference for you between direct valid perceiver and a direct perceiver? That's what I was debating with him about.
Cognizer is a direct perceiver. It's not fresh, but it's still a direct perceiver.
So you're saying, okay, well, I'll stop.
She's going to debate, okay? How about, okay, you guys same?
Okay, so other ones who said that there were 3,
Who's Jennifer?
do you have a different answer, or are you all in accordance with,
Bob.
accord with Bob here?
I agree with Bob, the 3, the direct perceiver, inferential.
No, he said direct valid perceiver.
But the question was just that realize their object.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. I said just,
But you can't same one or different?
Okay, so you say direct perceiver and then
inferential cognizer.
inferential
Yeah, subsequent.
subject and conferred. Okay, so she says, 뭐라나 원숨, 제파, and 제시숨. Bomna was in Sema, 제파, 제시숨. Now we have debate. Or we
Okay,
can.
Ian.
So the question was, do they realize their objects? Like, do they cognize their objects?
Right.
Yeah, like that, yeah.
My answer was, the reason why I say 3 is because I do process of elimination, because the other 4 don't. Because the other 4 is doubt and assumption, wrong, and distraction. It's not perceiving it. It's not ascertaining it. So those do not cognize their objects.
So are the 3 that you do assert to be
Yes.
cognizing? Which are the 3 according to you?
This is the problem.
Direct,
Inferential and in subsequent.
direct what? You have to have full
This
names
is
here.
the problem you have to care for, okay?
Because every word, no, there's a
Yeah.
difference here, right? Be-
Because he said
okay,
valid.
so are you saying direct valid perceiver or direct perceiver?
That's a big problem, okay?
There's a difference.
Tell me the difference.
No,
No,
not yet,
obviously.
because I'm going to ruin the debate if I tell you the difference. So you have to choose. Do you say direct perceiver with Jennifer, or do you say direct valid perceiver with Bob? Whose side are you on?
So are there direct invalid perceivers?
Oh, yes, there are as well.
And therefore, I would say direct valid perceiver. Inferential and in subsequent.
Okay, so you're with Bob, right?
Did we go over the difference between valid and direct valid? If we didn't, then I don't know.
Yes, you should have, because according to the contents here, the first one is valid cognizers, among which then the division goes direct perceivers, the big division goes direct perceivers versus inferential valid cognizers, right? And then direct perceivers then have further divisions and so forth. So yes, I would say, I wasn't there myself, but I would say according to the text, if you went through the text as is listed here, then you should have.
Well, of the 7, the first 3 did not make a differentiation. They didn't differentiate between valid and direct valid. So of the 7 we listed, I would say the first 3.
Howard, what did you list? Did you say direct perceiver or direct valid?
Perceiver.
Direct knower is what the term is.
So he said direct perceiver, he didn't say direct valid
I did not
perceiver.
say
So I
direct
would say
valid.
direct knower.
That's not within, direct knower is not an accepted terminology according to the text here.
That's what we've been saying all along. Is this Drake Boom?
This is from, I'm
No, us,
here.
us.
No, this is
Huh.
your Yongsen Purbucho. This is your tradition. This is Rangluk. Rang means our, right? Luk means tradition. So this is Rangluk. I'm just using the translation here as is. Yeah.
아주 좋아. 사드물리가 재밌으니 대라 응해서 제보.
So, okay. Let me just give you a quick rundown of a couple of definitions here.
Yeah.
So the most general here is awareness, right? Definition of awareness is knower. And then consciousness, knower, and awareness, those 3 are synonymous, right? That's the biggest level of the category here. And then when that is further divided, there's valid cognizers versus non-valid awarenesses, right? And then the definition of a valid cognizer, tsema in Tibetan, is a new incontrovertible knower. That is the definition of a valid cognizer. Do you need any other hints? Should I give you other definitions here?
Right?
I have to change my answer.
How about Ian?
Is that this text that we have, or is that the text we had before?
Oh, before one. Yeah. You don't text that.
This is the objects and object possessors as
Yeah,
well
we
as
studied that,
awareness
right?
and knowers. This is the awareness and awareness.
We already studied that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just review, okay? But what difference in Jennifer and Bob?
So what's the difference between a direct perceiver versus a direct valid perceiver or cognizer? Those are, I guess, being used synonymously, yeah? So what difference does the word valid make here?
That the senses are accurate.
So let me read again the definition of a valid cognizer. A new, incontrovertible knower. So how many characteristics are being listed there?
It's incontrovertible, that's the difference.
What does incontrovertible mean?
Unmistakable.
Yeah, I'm mistaken.
So that would be the difference between that and the direct knower,
Okay, so let me give you now the definition of direct perceiver without the valid part to it. Okay? A knower that is free from conceptuality and non-mistaken. So which part is the part that is missing between a knower that is free from conceptuality and non-mistaken versus a new incontrovertible knower? The new part, right?
But isn't non-mistaken also different than incontrovertible? Or else they should have used the same
I
term.
think it's similar. It's
The translation's a little confusing, not use the same term.
right. That I mean that's a translation issue that I can question as well, but my job is not to question the translation here. It's only to communicate.
Yeah, she already said.
I already was nitpicking
She
before.
said, that's translated like that. That's you and I said, don't talk about that.
So yeah, just taking this as as given, So I think we can make the assumption that non-mistaken, incontrovertible, correct, that these are synonymous, I would say.
So are direct and direct valid we talked about 7. So are we now saying 8? Are they exact?
No.
So that's
No.
the same.
No, we
Still
don't say that.
7, yeah, still 7. So what Howard first listed as the first category was direct perceiver, not direct valid perceiver. He only said direct perceiver, right? And then the valid came when Bob listed his 3 nominees for a consciousness that realizes the object correctly. So that's when the valid part came in. So direct perceiver.
Categorized in the same category, right?
So direct valid perceiver would actually, now I'm just going to give the answer away, which is direct valid perceiver would be a subcategory of a direct perceiver. Yeah.
Of the 7, it's in the same category.
Of the direct perceiver. The direct valid perceiver would be a subdivision of the direct perceiver,
Yeah, sure.
right?
So direct perceivers do cognize their objects.
Of course.
So my answer stays the same.
No, because if you say your answer was direct valid perceiver, right?
No, I was just saying direct perceiver.
Okay, so now you want to state your answer as direct perceiver, so you're with Jennifer now, not with Bob, right? Direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and the subsequent. And you also changed your answer to direct perceiver as well, is that correct, Bob?
No.
No, you didn't. Oh, okay.
What I wanted to change was subsequent cognizer.
Oh, subsequent.
The definition that subsequent cognizer.
나도 저번에 정확하게 말다 똑똑하게 이러고.
Yeah, so Geshe just wants to make sure that you guys understand the difference here. Our question is not how many valid cognizers are there. The question is how many consciousness realize their objects correctly, know their objects correctly. Okay?
Okay? This is different, right?
Those are 2 different concepts here. Right? Easy to
But-
get confused, but 2 different things.
대나라 숨 요요를 봐.
So there are 3.
야, 인수, 제보, 제시 등 없어 그런 놈지.
And so Geshe said there are 3 because there is direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer.
But it said subsequent is not one.
No, that's just
So should I read the definition for subsequent cognizer? Let's go by definitions. That's the fun part. Because
응?
all right.
Remember?
That's the one I don't understand, because how new is new?
Okay, so
Second, a millionth of a second?
let me
Oh, yeah, this is
first the definition. First the definition, then we can pick up other definition if we don't agree with it. So with respect to the definition of a subsequent cognizer is a knower that realize what has already been realized. A knower
제시로.
that realizes what has already been realized.
So if I realize a cup for 1 second, when is it not fresh?
The next second.
We going by seconds? Or tenths
Yeah,
of a second?
moments.
It's arbitrary.
So we say second, but actually here in Tibetan we say getikma, which means moment. So the first moment that your eye consciousness cognizes its object, let's say a cup holding, an eye consciousness that sees the cup, the first moment of that consciousness when it's first generated would be the valid, the new incontrovertible knower. The second moment following that continues to cognize its object, the cup, but it's no longer realizing it freshly for the first time. It's realizing what has already been realized in the first moment, right? The
Okay,
third.
that's a static thing, because cups don't move. Let's see you're looking at a caterpillar. Second
Well,
by
cups
second.
don't move, but is cup then permanent? Is it unchanging?
Well, ultimately it's changing.
Mm-hmm.
100
So
years,
ultimately,
it's
so
not gonna
ultimately, if it's changing, doesn't that ultimate change needs to come from incremental change? It's not going to always stay permanent and then one moment, 1,000 years later, change,
But
right?
then I wouldn't be able to discern any sense change in a cup. It's impossible. We can't see at the molecular level. So for all intents and purposes, it's not changing.
Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not changing. Just because you cannot see Tibet doesn't mean with your eye consciousness directly doesn't mean it does not exist.
No, but we're
Then
talking
so,
about an eye
then I made my point, okay?
But I can't see Tibet, so it's not my eye consciousness. That's,
So
No, it's
right,
not like
just
that, you know.
because, yeah.
Like example, your shirt, it become
So daily it becomes older, right? Your shirt,
but you don't see, we don't see.
but you don't see it becoming older.
Right.
You don't see it deteriorating, but it's daily deteriorating.
The same cup also like that.
The same thing with the cup. I'm just repeating his English, I just realized.
just to make sure.
Just to make sure. I don't know.
So the answer, the correct answer is 3.
Okay,
Yes.
how's this? This you got to walk? It's confused? Then I'm going to the second question, okay. First,
Are you clear with
are you
the
clear with that?
first question?
Not clear, okay.
No, the one part I wasn't clear about was on the direct receiver.
Mm-hmm.
You said direct receiver is the right answer for that?
Yes.
Not direct valid receiver?
Right. Okay, so yeah, I think that is something that needs to be
Direct
clarified.
receiver could be invalid, it could not realize its object.
Oh, no. See, that's where your definition of valid is getting tripped up here. You're thinking valid in terms of being correct, right? Which is normally how we use that term. But here, what they sneak in that definition is new. New, incontrovertible knower. So a direct perceiver can know its object, can be non-mistaken, but does not have to be new, right? The second, third, fourth, fifth, the subsequent moments of an eye consciousness that is looking at a flower still sees the flower, still correctly recognizes the flower, but it's not new anymore, right?
So do we say, like, if the eye organ's not working correctly and you see white snow mountains as yellow,
Mhm.
that's not a direct perception?
That's not a direct perceiver, no.
That's not, oh, okay, that's my mistake.
Yeah. So that's a direct perceiver is necessary to be a knower, which means a consciousness that is free from conceptuality, non-conceptual, and non-mistaken. Those three characteristics.
Now it's clear? Are you clear on your question?
Cognizer, it says that it realizes something that it's already, it knows
What has already been realizes what has been already
You've
realized.
seen the flower, and then you've already seen the flower, that's the subsequent.
So actually, Geshe had a debate about that.
Well, because the flower changes every moment.
You're right.
You've seen it from the previous moment before.
So,
This is already we have a lot of question. That we not believe that, okay? It's
so
really
for
long.
example, even to elaborate on that, if you were to close your eye, if you were to see this book now, close your eyes and then open your eyes again and look at this. Is that that first moment of your eye consciousness that is holding this book, is that considered a new,
I say new.
a direct valid cognizer, perceiver, or is it a subsequent valid,
It's a different
direct
book.
perceiver?
It's a new book.
Right.
It's a different book. It's changed.
So then you'd say, okay, then there's a distinction to be made between the continuum of a single book, a single object, versus different objects. Is the second moment of this book a completely different entity, a different object than the first moment of this book,
Sit within the continuum, then it's not.
right?
Yes.
So that's where then we have other variations coming in. It gets very interesting, trust me.
It is, you look at it as the same object, you don't recognize the change.
So see, this is where further, now, for ordinary beings like ourselves,
By that
right?
definition, though, we wouldn't cognize.
Like, so, but then if you get into the level of bodhisattvas, Arya bodhisattvas, and Buddhas, where they recognize, where they have the potential in their minds to be able to recognize or to be able to cognize momentariness, subtle impermanence. So to them, yes, they will be able to recognize moment by moment.
Subsequent cognizing, do they?
Of course they do.
It's new to them.
No. Well, in Buddha's consciousness, yes. But bodhisattvas, no. they do have subsequent realizers as well in the continuum bodhisattvas. Ra. Chanchi sempe gula dene di jeshi yore. Ina dene namkena yomare. So it's only the omniscient consciousness of a Buddha that is always direct valid. But also with bodhisattvas, Geshe was saying, well, it's to be debated. The 통과요.
I don't know. Anyway,
Watch out, just something else, but now I have a question. Does this mean the reason that non-bodhisattvas have subsequent cognition because as soon as the first moment of awareness passes, the next moment we imply, attribute inherent existence to objects? So that's what's happening? Is that why it's invalid?
I'll say no, but I will first refer to Geshe-la's. The Kurangi, Debragi Dwanndide, that so what you mean is non-Arya beings, right? When you say, right, ordinary beings, they guys are semchenina semchenmare. 소소기오이나. 아니 소소기오라 다 깨진 이바데 제시. 제시's 유비근신데 아니 깨진 이바데라 되는 가서 디 당진이 왕기. Okay, so he said it doesn't really have anything to do with the grasping of inherent existence or not, the ignorance that grasps self-existence. It's that it's because it doesn't realize it freshly for the first time. So if I may add something to that, the real difference between, for example, there is a debate here of like, okay, then the omniscient consciousness of a Buddha, the second moment of the omniscient consciousness of a Buddha, that is also a subsequent realizer because according to the definition, it's realizing what has already been realized, right? If the Buddha, the emptiness, wisdom realizing emptiness within the omniscient mind of a Buddha, the first moment has already realized directly emptiness, and the second moment is realizing that same emptiness, right? So it must also be a subsequent cognizer. So there is such a debate, right? And the answer to why that's not the case is that in the Buddha's, each moment of Buddha's omniscient mind realizes this object freshly by its own power. That's the key point here. That by its own power, by its own, power, I guess, it's able to realize, each moment is able to realize its object freshly. Whereas in ordinary beings like ourselves, that first moment is the direct valid cognizer or inferential valid cognizer that realizes that first moment, and then the subsequent moments rely on it. Whatever that first moment has realized, that power gets transferred. It's by that power that the subsequent moments are able to realize this object.
So in short, the mind of a Buddha can see the object changing.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's a momentary object, of course. If it's non-momentary, then no, because it doesn't exist.
Whereas an unenlightened being cannot recognize the changes.
Well, I think it's safer to say. I think it's safer to say non-Arya sentient beings, right? There's some debate about Arya beings here, like non-Buddha, like highly realized, high levels of bodhisattvas, or other Arya beings. So I think safer in our argument debate to consider ordinary beings like us, the non-Arya sentient beings. For us, we wouldn't be able to recognize momentary change, realize it directly. Inferentially, yes, through reasonings, but not directly.
Okay,
So is that clear, that first question? Has that been clarified?
everyone.
So if we first talk about three, you know that the two is a given. It's easy to understand, right? Why inferential cognizer and subsequent cognizers, right?
Okay.
Oh, no. Right, direct, right. So subsequent cognizer, is it clear for those of you who only stated two, was it the subsequent cognizer that was missing from the list? And is it clear now why it should be included in that list? Yeah? Okay. So second question here. So you guys are talking about direct perceivers,
아니 제바로 제시로 was.
an inferential cognizer, and then subsequent cognizer.
당면수 영의 예동의 되니샤시더라고요.
So please give an example of a direct perceiver, 율동행인, that realizes its object. Give an example of a direct perceiver that realizes its object.
The first moment that the eye consciousness sees the cup.
오케이. 대체 말 was.
So that's valid.
인지미 처음에 그 말 was.
So it's not necessary to give the valid, direct valid perceiver. So
That's within the category of
right, it is. So you're technically correct, but I think Geshe is looking for a counterexample, like a non-valid direct perceiver.
Somebody with jaundice.
No, like a subsequent cognizing direct perceiver is what he's looking
오케이 다 잘못되지 않네. 저번이 맞추겠다. 저번이 봐시. 다뒤 두고 놀아야. 다더 숨나서. 뒤나라 세막 가세요.
for. Okay, so within the three of direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer, among those three, how many are valid cognizers?
Two.
Two, okay.
다 이리샤도.
Any other, everyone unanimously two?
100% true.
100%? Everybody? Not nodding makes you included in the group. Abstaining from nodding or shaking doesn't excuse you. All right, so if you don't nod, if you don't acknowledge, you're going in the two category here. Everybody, unanimous.
Yes.
Everybody.
다 이리샤도.
Okay, so please give those two that you think are valid cognizers among those three. Direct perceiver, inferential, and subsequent cognizer, among those three,
Okay.
which are valid?
Everything but subsequent.
Okay, so they say, 응원송당 제반에 세 말했어. 제시는 세 말했어. You guys are in trouble.
Okay, Ian, yeah, come.
The question was which of those three are valid?
But
Yeah,
뒤는
so
세막
direct
가세요.
perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer, those three, right? Among those three, how many are valid cognizers?
By definition, it can't be subsequent since valid means it has to be fresh. So therefore, it has to be the first two. It can't be subsequent.
So, right, so then Geshe said, which of those three, which two, and you said everyone is
Yeah,
saying,
but
so
come on.
everyone 100% is saying direct perceiver and inferential cognizer, right? No? Oh, we have a dissent. Okay, please.
Because are you including the subcategories when you say that? Because I would say you would have to be more specific to say direct valid perceiver and inferential valid cognizer.
No, so this is a trick question, you see, because we're saying direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer. Among those three, how many are valid cognizers? And
저 때문에 다 저도 노사 말이야.
zero.
No.
Oh, she says zero.
No. 다 정하나. 제시의 녀석이 샤도 주도. 제시의 녀석이가 이것이.
Okay, so he wants a common locus, an example of a common locus, which basically means that is both subsequent cognizer and direct perceiver. So something that is both, he wants an example of something that is both a direct perceiver and a subsequent cognizer.
The steering of the cup.
Yeah.
Continuously staring at the cup.
But then staring at the cup, is that an awareness or is that an action? So
Okay.
second, 깨직 니바데, guys,
니바데.
cup zimbin, so mixture, right? So eye consciousness, you would have to say, right? Eye consciousness, second moment of the eye consciousness that is holding the cup.
제시에 들어와. That's good. 다들 제시에 was.
So that is a subsequent cognizer, right?
아니 녀석으로 was.
That's also a direct perceiver, right?
녀석이 뭐지?
Why is it a direct perceiver? Oh, we could get into debate there. The mixture in big unit is. 믹쉐인.
믹쉐인 뭐시는 누구다?
Not mistaken.
Oh,
Yeah.
Korsum!
You know, Korsum is how is it? Korsum is what?
Korsum.
Korsum
I don't know how they translate korsum.
Korsum means you mistake.
Well, it means when you make a wrong
mistake.
answer. When a defender makes a wrong answer, then the challenger says, korsum. Yeah. So I would say, okay, then if
No,
it's
not
an
that
eye
one.
consciousness, is it necessary to be a direct perceiver? Ian. Right? Because you get the reason why is the second moment of a cup holding or cup holding zimbe cup holding eye consciousness, or eye consciousness, why is it a direct perceiver? And you say because it's an eye consciousness, right? So if that's a correct, valid reason, then there has to be pervasion now. If it's an eye consciousness, is it necessary to be a direct perceiver?
I can't think of an eye consciousness that's non-direct.
So then, how about the eye consciousness that sees one moon as two moons?
That's wrong consciousness.
But it's not an eye consciousness? When it's such an eye consciousness, Tseten, for example.
Does it happen with the first moment or the second one? Does it happen with the mental consciousness or in the eye consciousness?
I'm talking about eye consciousness here. So the eye consciousness that sees one moon as two moons, Tseten means keep that subject. Is that a direct perceiver? Is that a direct perceiver? Okay, I'm going to go with the yes answers first. If that is a direct perceiver, then is it a knower that is free from conceptuality and not mistaken?
Doesn't fit that it's mistaken.
Yeah.
Wrong, it's mistaken consciousness, wrong consciousness. How could it not be? Because it's wrong. You're seeing one as two, it's wrong.
Well, I would say then, according to your reasoning, I would say, or the other's reasoning, I would say, the eye consciousness that is seeing one moon as two moons is a direct perceiver because it's an eye consciousness, which is the reasoning you gave, right? As to why.
Okay, think about that, okay?
So is there pervasion? If it's an eye consciousness, is it necessary to be a direct perceiver? Is it necessary to be, I quote the direct perceiver's definition here, a knower that is free from conceptuality and non-mistaken? It can be mistaken, right? An eye consciousness can be mistaken. So if it's an eye consciousness, it's necessary to be a knower and it's necessary to be free from conceptuality, right? But it's not necessary to be non-mistaken, right? So then that goes to prove that there is no pervasion in that reason you gave, where Geshe said, why is that second moment of the cup holding eye consciousness? Why is that a direct perceiver? And you gave the reasoning because it's an eye consciousness, right? But if it's an eye consciousness, it's not necessary to be. All eye consciousnesses are not necessary to be direct perceivers, right?
This is what we've been told.
Oh, come on, let's go by the text here. I don't care what you've been told. I'm going by the text. This is the Tsinny. This is the philosopher's way. This is the debater's way. So yeah. So that.
Kira tela jinse den singi la bol. Toba da sadam toba da mati uri bai jana kira kanga kan ores.
Yeah. So
Singi de ngesu singi la tuna ani chana kan ores.
Yeah. So if you refer to the definition here, that a knower that is free from conceptuality and non-mistaken is the definition of a direct perceiver, then based on that definition, you'd have to come to realize that there is some discrepancy between what you were thinking and what the definition is, right? So it's very important before any debate, we establish the ground here, the common ground. Do you accept that definition? If you don't accept this definition, then what's wrong with it? Let's debate it out until you accept it, until both parties accept it, right?
Good.
So if it's a sense consciousness, it's necessary to be free from conceptuality, right?
And
and it's also, and then that, now he's going back to your example here of the second moment of the cup holding or cup seeing eye consciousness there. That's also free from conceptuality and it's also non-mistaken, right? So among the three that you have given here, of direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer, your example was that which is both a direct perceiver and a subsequent cognizer.
Okay.
So why is it a direct perceiver? Because the second moment of such an eye consciousness there it fits the definition. It fulfills the definition of a direct perceiver, that it's a knower that is free from conceptuality and non-mistaken. And then why is it subsequent cognizer? Because it is it realizes what has already been realized.
Okay,
so it being one consciousness, it actually is both types of consciousness, right? In the same way that one person can be a policeman and a boy, and a male.
Yeah, like that. Right? It's clear? You guys understand?
Does it apply to meditation too? So we're looking at a tangible object, it's static, right? What if I'm closing my eyes and I see a deity or whatever? So 1 second, is that still eye consciousness? So 1 second it's valid, and next it's not?
When you're closing your eyes, it's not your eye consciousness that is seeing the deity, right? It's your mental consciousness that is seeing a mental
But it's
image.
like the same, like you can imagine a sound.
And that would also be
imagine-
momentary. Yeah, that would also be a subsequent cognizer at the second moment, third moment. 공기다 계승하수 공기까지. So he was confirming it's subsequent cognizer at that point, the second moment.
Okay, this is now that you got clear? Okay?
Is
Are
that
you sure?
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm going to try you your dad.
in the second question?
Second question, don't confuse, okay? 당보대 가래, 녜세 잉에, 제시에 잉에, 도로 잉에들라, 시바치 샤쇼도 was.
Someone's alarm is going off. Oh, that's me. Sorry. Okay.
We saw it, don't you do that?
I'm like, wait, that sounds familiar, but who was? All right, sorry.
녜수 잉에,
So, yeah.
도로 잉에, 제시에 잉에, 시바치 샤쇼도 was.
Okay, so that example, Ian's example, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that example, the second moment of the cup holding eye consciousness, it fulfills three. It's being one consciousness. It actually three different types, right? It's a direct perceiver. It's a consciousness that realizes its object, and it's also subsequent cognizer,
Okay?
right?
Okay, understand? Don't think, oh, maybe it was 8 or 9. 나도 잠깐 눈 들어가야 돼. 나 눈이야 망겨
Right.
말다.
So,
나도 눈이야 망겨 말다. 눈은 there.
so we're still staying within the 7 division of the 7 divisions, right? So we're not adding any categories here. It's all still within the original, the initial 7 divisions that we're talking about.
Yes.
So you mentioned it, you said 3, so it's direct perceiver, subsequent cognizer, and what was the third one?
No, he was saying that and then consciousness that realizes its object. So we're talking about the second moment of the eye consciousness that is holding or seeing the cup. That's the example that he's referring to here.
Okay.
That such a consciousness, such an eye consciousness is a direct perceiver. It also realizes its object correctly, and it also is a subsequent cognizer.
Okay.
Everyone understand?
Thank you.
You guys understand?
Question clear?
Second question, okay? We ask tomorrow again. Oh, I don't remember. Don't say that, okay? 다 디나라에 다 단단가서 단데 돌로섬이 was. Yes, 제보 제시세 돌로야. 디나 체마가세요. 체마.
So we're back to the second question he asked. Among those 3 of direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer, among those 3, how many are valid cognizers? Has your answer changed?
You're
now?
0. Really?
It's because the way the question.
Okay, Deborah? 2.
I see 2.
2. Are you sure? Bob?
How many are valid cognizers?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
how many are valid
아니
cognizers?
디 나로라. 되면 다 디 나로라.
Do nalola.
I mean,
No,
di-
sum nalola.
sum nalola.
Yeah, so within those 3, right, we're
How many
only
you
limiting
find?
those 3. Direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer. Among those 3, how many are valid cognizers? Do you need any refreshment on definitions here before you make up your decision?
배나 배차는 줄다. 코로나라는 말이야. 디 나네 가서 배나. 나도 디 나라야 부모 가세요. 그래서 지금 좀 돼야
So for example, within this group right here tonight, how many are women, right? So in that way, among
Yeah.
those 3, how many are valid cognizers?
maybe how many wallet cards we find in that 디 나는 줄라고 그래서.
Yeah. How many valid cognizers do you find within those 3, among those 3 consciousness types of
Okay,
consciousness?
2, 1, 2, 2,
I'll take the hit of
2,
but I want to learn.
you? Okay. Was okay.
The question was, how many do you find?
Yeah, so among those 3, direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer, among those 3, how many valid cognizers are there? So that's why I kind of question Geshe's way of phrasing it. I think among those 3, how many are valid cognizers is what he's really asking at all. The 대수능은 같이 세마레스라.
가서 참.
랑도 맛도 대 예와락이며.
예월락이면 참 가세요.
So yeah, so let me change back to my original way of saying it, which is how many are valid cognizers among those three?
이거도 0. 오케이. 2, 2, 2. 나도 참 시다 참 가세요.
Usually, how many valid types of valid cognizers are there?
Okay. 2 right. Okay. Ian, where you found 2? Are you 2?
No, he said 0. You said
No, no,
0,
no.
right?
My.
That's fascinating.
Zero was the way the question was asked.
You're the one.
So, direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, subsequent cognizer. Among those three, how many are valid cognizers? That's the, and so to that question, you're saying 0, right? Ian?
Here is 0.
And everyone else is 2? Oh, well, we have 1.
You 1. You 1.
Oh,
Okay.
two ones, 3 ones. Any more ones?
There are 2.
Power 2.
Two, for sure.
Okay. Winnie,
Live and die.
You're 2. Marcus 2.
you 2? Okay, think you 1. How about you?
2.
Kimber? You don't have? How about you? 2, 1? Okay. 다 다몽에 기재 파트게다. 이엔 지난 거 기재돼. 지난 가서 오시던 테마 가세요.
Okay, so Ian, he wants to ask you, in general, how many types of valid cognizers are there?
Types of,
If you, 2, right?
다들 가운데라고 그랬어. 다들 가운데라고 그래. 가니라고 그랬어.
Why'd you give an
So,
No, okay. Second question. Where you identify that?
so where do you find those 2 types of valid cognizers?
within valid and inferential.
Within valid and inferential.
Within the valid, within direct nor and inferential.
Okay, so within direct perceiver and inferential cognizer, right? 다 원순당 제밖에 나올라 근데 다 체마라기레스.
대라고 와도 다 제복으로 테마 나왔어.
네 크로스 네 단다 됐어야라. 됐어야라.
오케이. 다티라는 데는 지샤한데야. 지 가운데 저런 데데 이스 지샤다야.
아,
제가 지금 가와라나 지 세다라고 했어.
the
Give example.
give him examples of those 2 types of valid cognizers.
If you know one clear, then everyone's clear.
So you want an example of
Of each.
Yeah, it's
Of the a valid cognizer that is a direct perceiver, and a valid cognizer that is an inferential cognizer.
So like before the first example that sees the cup, eye consciousness would be direct valid. And then that the first moment that would see the smoke indicating that there's a fire, because that would be also direct.
okay.
That's inferential.
대지 보죠.
How did you phrase the example of the inferential?
Careful, okay. Think about what you talk.
I'm sorry, how did you phrase the second example?
Well, inferential, so you, like for example, it depends on signs.
Uh-huh,
So you see the smoke and you know that there's a fire. So
okay.
within that moment, eye consciousness, the first moment it sees the smoke.
This is what?
So who is what is the knower that sees? So the eye consciousness sees the smoke, right? So what is the knower that knows that there's a fire?
How about you?
It's the mental consciousness, because you realize inferentially it is fire, but you're not perceiving it sort of with your senses. Your senses now is out of the picture. Now you make an inference. Oh, I always know in smoke there's fire, but that moment with the mental sense knows it.
Okay. I think Ian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
How about 1? People say 1. Above, give me 1. Yeah.
Inferential cognizer.
그거로 제보다 말어.
이제 말해.
Give me example.
The inference that the cup is impermanent because it changes over time. Because
Okay.
you see it one moment, and then you look at it a year later, and it looks different. So you infer that it's been changing, that it's impermanent.
그런 게 나는 나 높아요라. 그런 게 나는
You say you must learn show catch me. Okay.
because 그런 게 나는데 the cup 대 포화대 근데 미타바엠바 하콘켄 대 하코의 균선데 네 니마직 대 통내 네 니마 로 제마 대 교회 통회 균생기, 통회 왕기. 아니,
대 말이야, 빠개가.
세상이다.
어떤 시와에 며칠 때는 또 안되게 되네.
됐다 말이다. So are you saying that because the reason why you think that the cup is impermanent is because because of you saw one day that it's like this, and a year later you see that it's different?
Yeah.
So through the direct perception of the change in the cup is why you would realize that the inference is that the cup is impermanent?
Well, the inference is that it's changing over time, moment by moment, because on any given day, you don't see any difference. When you look at it, you don't see it changing, but over a period of time, you notice that it actually has changed. So the inference is that it's changing.
But
You
even
don't
the,
actually perceive the change directly.
but even this is the eye consciousness.
But it's the eye consciousness that observe the change, right? And based on the eye consciousness observation of the changing of the cup, that then you infer that it's changing, that it's impermanent. Is that what you're saying? Am I getting that correctly? Because the way you're expressing it is that you see that it's changing, which is, to me, talks about the eye consciousness seeing the cup one day this way, and years later, the cup, same cup, a different way.
When you look at it, it doesn't appear to be changing,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then when you remember what it looked like in the past, it was different. So
Yeah, this is-
to me, that seems like
Right, but it's still the eye consciousness that first has to see the cup 10 years later.
Yeah.
For the mind then, the mental consciousness to make that calculation and say it looks it, right?
right.
So then that mental consciousness that realized that it changed over time is still relying on the eye consciousness observation, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, that's true.
So is that your example or no?
Maybe it's not a good example.
Okay, why isn't it a good example then? If it's not a good example, why?
Because it's just an observation.
Okay. Yeah.
Isn't it because the inferential has to come from the mental consciousness? The inferential can't come from an eye consciousness or...
Well, first let's get to the basic here again, to the definition. What is the definition of an inferential cognizer?
Depends on the
Depending on
science.
this text. Your tradition.
야, 단에 당부 전화해 봐. 그게 가만하라 매요서 가는 그게 도와용은 누구랍나? 도와용을 때는 매요한테 좋다 사람 다 도와요 봐. 된다보다. 감바 그게 나라 매요서래서.
So if for example, over there in that house over there must be fire
Because
I can see the smoke rising.
스모그 통화라 때는 매요서래서 아무것도 로로째요 그래서.
So your example was that by seeing the smoke that there was the realization or there was the thought that there must be fire in that house. So by seeing the smoke is how you said it, right? By seeing the eye consciousness, seeing the smoke, based on that the mental consciousness or thought there must be fire over there on that house or that hill or whatever. Is that correct? Is that what you were positing as your example?
I'm trying to figure out what, when we talk about valid inferential, that's what I'm trying to...
So I think first we have to clarify what is
Okay,
inferential valid cognition.
Jennifer.
Well, I was just using, to suggest the inference, a different inference of using the cup is that, all products are impermanent and the cup is a product, so so the cup is impermanent. Would that be, an example of that inference?
So what you just described was kind of like a process. Now, can you extract from that an example of the type of inference that could arise from that process, the procedure of what you just described?
What type of
So you said, I'm sorry, can you repeat that cup is?
Okay, well, I was to use an example of the inferential cognizer. Okay, to say the cup is impermanent because the cup is a product, and all products are impermanent.
That
No, you cannot say permanent.
Impermanent.
Kapis impermanent.
Impermanent. Da koran ge morang den dislapso. Da poade mitapares. Kajna poade kaza chepares. Parta. Chepare. Chepares. Ane chepaina mitapembe kapires.
Te tala ta te yangshu dere ngumina.
말에 이나데 딱다 센시적인 민도와.
내가 때 떠나도 근데 딱 깨는 그거라. 내 못하면 시와에 미셔들 그다다 깨는 거라.
센시다와이나 근데 다 카요데 미타바 다 가서 제페 균생게 제페 딱기 미타바 또베 카요데 미타바 또베 근데 제바다 오지 된다 센시자고라. 다 뭐라는 단다 다가 데레 딱 맞도 데 상술 맞도 It's very close. It's getting warmer here.
So it doesn't rely on the sense consciousness, it relies on the sign, and the products.
Right. So the sign or the reason, right?
저런 게 될 때네 다 시와에 미진들 때네 못하바래 삼빌로지 때 제바 차는 거라.
So the way to phrase it would be like based on the what you gave here is an inferential valid cognizer that realizes the impermanence of the cup based on the reasoning or the sign of product, of being a product, right? So according to the text, it says, for example, here, yeah, so an inferential cognizer is an inferential cognizer that realizes that sound is impermanent through the sign of being a product. So that's the kind of like what an example of an inferential cognizer would be.
Okay.
So the ones who said one among those three that were valid cognizers, is it the inferential cognizer that you were thinking was the valid cognizer?
I'm joking, okay.
So okay, we'll stop here for today. That's for next week, so you'll be in suspense. So you'll come back.
I think go back to read this again. Okay? Next year we go to the 7, then once more, okay? Like that, try to more clear, okay? We already study, I'm sure we already study a couple months, but still we're not really familiarized. But you guys, like Bodhicitta, means yeah, Bodhicitta like that, like familiarized, right? Like this kinds, we are not very familiarized, okay? Still, they have two. 세만이 라기 왔어. 세만이 디나는 말은 내가 요 말서.
아니 이나다데 숨나라 그런 무슨 저라. 저기 무슨 제빠땅. 아니 제시 숨나라 같이 말이.
세만나다 제빠츠 말이. 디나는 게 수치 말이. 아니 미시
원순 주진 세만이마다.
코로나들마다 디나라 요까지.
매창기다나 디 가리를 나야 맞다. 디 나라 같이 요리라메라.
니 디나라 가들 다들라. 디나라 부모 가세요. 그래서 디나는 가서 제도 좀 빼셔야 봐.
내가 가라. 데리와 가그래.
니 저들다. 고도 갈라게 맞다. 디 나라 tema 가세요. 그래서.
세상 창기 디 예와 숨이 나라.
나는 tema 가더라 그래서 다까지.
가지라 그래서. Okay, so all right. Sorry, Geshe-la's question, which he said it one way and then he changed it another way. So the second way he's now saying is that within those three, how many valid cognizers can you find?
Can you find?
Yeah, so among those three, all the three, how many valid cognizers can you find? Right. So that changes the answer here. Right. First he said how many are valid cognizers, and then later on it evolved into how many can you get from, how many can you find within those three?
But isn't it still three?
Wait.
If you phrase it that way, wouldn't it be three? Because you would have direct valid cognizer, inferential cognizer, and then inferential valid cognizer.
Subsequent cognizer.
No, you
The
said
three are
but
direct perceiver, inferential cognizer, and subsequent cognizer. Within those three, how many valid cognizers can you find? Can you get from those three different categories?
And couldn't you still get three though? Because you could get the direct valid cognizer, the inferential cognizer.
Valid cognizer, right? That's two. Then?
And then the inferential valid
which you just said already.
So inferential cognizer and the subset of inferential valid cognizer is redundant then?
Yeah. Inferential valid cognizer, there's only one, right? Inferential cognizer.
The text lists that as a sub, just like direct
Yeah.
valid cognizer is listed as a sub of direct.
So if you look at the text, actually, it says inferential valid cognizer. Yeah, it doesn't say inferential cognizers. It just says inferential valid cognizers. But the way Geshe said it was inferential cognizer. He didn't add the tema to it. And so that's why I just directly translated it as inferential cognizer. And that's where we have actually different, again, according to the text that I'm studying in my nunnery, there's debate about that. If it's an inferential cognizer, is it necessary to be a valid cognizer or not? And so one school of thought would say, no, it's not. Now, your school of thought would say, yes, it is.
Your school says, is it necessary to be?
It's not necessary to be a valid cognizer, right? If it's an inferential cognizer, that there can be subsequent cognizers that are inference cognizers. It's not necessary to be a valid cognizer. Whereas this text, your school, Sera Je school here says that if it's an inferential cognizer, it has to be an inferential valid cognizer.
This text says it has to be valid?
There's a difference here.
Okay.
It's not valid, it goes into the.
Okay, now you
Subsequent, no, not mistaken, subsequent cognizing.
different you found, right? The answer you found?
Did
They're
that,
true. But you didn't identify true, right?
did also. So you understand which two, right? The direct valid cognizer and the inferential valid cognizer. Those are the two that Geshe was looking for. Yeah.
배자잖아. 그 고수 살아야 매우서 더와도 별로도 녀서 참아. 미시 참아 녀서 참아. 뒤도 제바데 아니 제바 참아.
So for example, if you were to look at the house over there, you see a smoke rising from the house over there, then the first moment of eye consciousness that sees that smoke, that would be an example of the direct valid cognizer. And then the first moment of the inference that realizes there must be fire based on the sign, the reasoning that because there is smoke, that would be an example of an inferential valid cognizer.
그래서 대신 고려지서는 그 시바치 망보용 저걸 봐. 시바. 근데 딱 찍거나 된게 내술 찍도배 말 자선 뒤도도 와.
So depending on just one situation like that, one scenario, you can have many different types of consciousness that arise, right, based on that.
The first moment that it infers that there must be a fire based on the signs. Is that
On the sign of there being a smoke.
Is that inference sense consciousness? Or
No, inferential valid cognizer.
So what type is it? Sense consciousness or is it?
No. It's a mental consciousness. If it's an inferential valid cognizer, it's necessary to be a mental consciousness, not a sense.
New, fresh mental consciousness.
Of course. Yeah.
Good, okay? Still read, okay? Read more, okay?
The definitions, especially definitions. Yeah.
Through reasoning that you get to the information.
Exactly. It's through the reasoning.
Yeah, it's reasoning.
Now, if you get even deeper, then how do you get to that reasoning? It has to first, well, we won't get into that now, but yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, for now, it's because of the reasoning.
Okay, it's work? It's more complicated?
No, it's good, it helps.
No, remember? We go to the Kachik.
Yeah. So like a lot of times in the book where it says in the box where it says someone might say, these are what we call kachiks in Tibetan. So he said, sometimes you
We
guys
read
in
one
class,
time, remember?
you
Even
try to
we
go
did-
through the reasonings
If
in
it
that
didn't
debate.
go work, remember, too complicated.
You got a headache?
But this is, if you really find like that, like something open your key, it's very easy to understand. Like, oh yeah. If you stuck at some key, then you never get out. Always you stuck there. Okay, now you stop. Shh, little short break. Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Page 39, please. Saji Perki Junshi Meto Tramri Ramlingji my two collections vast the space that I have amassed from working at practice for a great length of time. May I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold Buddhist teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddhist deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this graded course to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children, may all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzing Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. Page 49. Short, long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Tup sung chang jing jam go gelwe, Tenzing yom pelwe gunzo dok potse, chong sung kurwe le mun tudru, padag zo dulce gundu zapten shu. You want me to do dedication or the prayer to always meet? Oh, makes the night? Okay. Okay, well, we'll turn to page 75. Me me tse wei te chen chen rei zig, dream e kempe wang po jam pel yang, gong chen ke pe sugen song kapa, lo sandra pe zabla so wade.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe. Oops. So, Geshe, next week review this the new text or the continue awareness as a novice? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So quick announcements. We have Losar coming up this coming Monday. On the day we will have activities in the afternoon at 6 p.m. We will do 5:30 p.m. Wendy Koch will do a quick talk about Lama Yeshe's life on Losar. It's always a celebration of Lama Yeshe's life just to keep him alive, especially for newer students who didn't know him, and to keep his history alive. That's one of the main things that we do. And then we've got an extended Guru Puja where we do not just the LCs, where we do all the materials that's in the Guru Puja. It takes about 3 hours. Then I think that's it. We don't need help this weekend, so then it's Losar. And then we'll keep an eye out. We've got His Eminence Choden Rinpoche. Choden Rinpoche's relics coming here, so keep an eye out for that in March, and then in April, Venerable Thupten Chodron, and we'll just, stop. I think everyone knows the story by now, so just sign up as we go along. And then just a call out, we have some books here specifically supporting mind and mental factors of Geshe Tashi Tsering, his third book, Buddhist Psychology, the Foundation of Buddhist Thought. Jeffrey Hopkins's Meditation on Emptiness, and then with Venerable Adrian Fieldman, The World and Ourselves, that we can download from Lama Yeshe Wisdom Archive. and Mind and Its Functions by Geshe Rapton, which is a blue book with a crystal on top. That one is only available on Amazon. In any case, you'll see the list. Thank you very much, Karen, for creating it. And we still have the bookstore sale until?
1 more week.
1 more week, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks very much, Geshe. Thank you so much, Anyeshe.